Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Floriette Pika or Floriette Piker, however you want to pronounce it, podcast. It is, our pilot episode, you could say. It's episode number 1, numero uno. We are 3 Collingwood Magpies tragics, more or less. I'm CJ, joined by Hutto and Jamesy, Keezy, whatever you want to call him, Z, down there. As I said, we're from all different walks of life, but we have one thing in common, our love of Collingwood and everything to do with Collingwood Magpies. So we'll be covering week-by-week wrap-ups. We'll be doing special bits. We've got Hutto's Magpies history. We've got Jamesy's, same game multi and so much more. And giveaways as well. So who doesn't love a good giveaway? So let's get started. Stubby Club Rounds 1 to 4 recap. First of all, though, Stubby Club, they produce amazing man cave gifts. And we've got up for grabs a Collingwood Magpies Stubby Cooler dispenser. The giveaway competition is over on Instagram. Go and follow the prompts, and for your chance to win, it'll be announced in next week's episode for the winner. You got to be in it to win it. Round 1, we come out with a win, 100-58 against Adelaide. What are your thoughts on that game, Jamesy? St Kilda, was it?
Yeah, 102-85 round 1.
Oh, well, for some reason, Google was telling me wrong, even though I should know this. But I've been so focused on...
You've got to have the app.
And I've got 4 other fucking podcasts, so I apologize for that. But we still, but we did win, and it was a great win because I was like, "Fuck yes!" Both of my NRL and my AFL teams won on the same week, and that's rare as hen's teeth the last few years. So Jamesy, mate, what were your thoughts going into round 1 and after round 1?
I was very impressed. So it showed a clear new game plan, clear, quick ball movement. Taking the game on as opposed to, I guess, we're a little bit more defensive over the last 2 or 3 years, going back to that 2018 sort of gunshot sort of football where we took the game on, took risks.
Yep. Oh, your microphone cut out, James. Oh. There we go. I think you're back.
And
yep. There we go.
Yeah. So just, good, quick football, taking the game on, taking risks, which was exciting.
It was.
And high scoring, which is what we all want to see. We don't want to see those sort of low scoring, dour, defensive sort of football. So the excitement of Nick Dacos, I think we all
got up on that.
Oh, yeah.
Mate, he is special. He is something special, that kid. So,
and then partnering with his brother Josh, it was,
Yes. Well, I think actually Josh has come on leaps and bounds this year, and that could be because of Nick as well. He showed promise last year or the year before, but I think he's actually gone to another level this year. So that's a good sign as well.
Absolutely. And Hutto, mate, what are your thoughts on that and also the round 2 match that we had?
Right. So I actually had 2 thoughts on Josh Dacos. I feel as though this year has been put back on the wing, and I think it's opened him up again. He's a bit more free to run, carry, and I mean, they seem to just always know where they are on the field. Yeah. How many times have we seen Dacos to Dacos? It's amazing.
Yeah, they seem to wax a bit, don't they?
It is. Yeah. One of the other players I wanted to mention from round 1, obviously, Patrick Lipinski. 2 great Collingwood debuts. I mean, he was in everything early and just a real touch of class to what had become a bit of a scrappy midfield the last couple of years.
I absolutely agree with that.
Round 2, Adelaide. Always love beating Adelaide.
Oh, don't we all?
First of all, Nathan Kruger. Now, I heard Dale Thomas speak about him on Triple M against Brisbane. He said he's going to be one of them guys who's going to play a week, miss 2 weeks. He's either going to be rubbed out or he's going to be injured. Yep. He has no care for his own safety. That's amazing. He's amazing to watch. And I think I spoke to you guys on the group chat. I said, he reminds me of Anthony Rocker.
He reminds me of him and a little bit of Chris Tarrant as well. Like just no regard for self-preservation.
Yeah, he's going to leap, he's going to jump, but that ability to just split a pack and he's the best part is he's great once it hits the deck. Yeah. He can pick it up, agile. He can turn, he can agile, hand pass, and he brings other guys in the game. And that game against, I know we're not up to it yet, but that game against Brisbane was just, I can't wait to see him in the forward line as the club wants it. Myashek himself, Billy, Ginnivan, McCreery.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it already, and it hasn't even happened yet.
No, absolutely. And then tangenting from round 2 into round 3, James, I'll let you take that game. What are your thoughts on the round 3 game?
Who did we play round 3? Hang on.
I think it was Geelong. Yep.
Geelong. It's without trying to
fucking Geelong.
Fucking Geelong, and also fucking Collingwood. What's with us and getting 4 or 5 goals up and just butchering a lead?
We literally did the Western Bulldogs in the grand final, but against Geelong.
Oh, yeah, I know. So you're sitting there at 3/4 time, 6 goals up. This is my take on it. You're 6 goals up. You're thinking, fuck, how good's this? We're going to go 3 and zip.
Right.
We're looking good. We're playing good footy.
And then that quarter happens.
And then they shit the bed a little bit, and we all got frustrated as, 2018 grand final. Obviously, it's not a final, but these kind of leads. I mean, the scariest part of a Collingwood game is when we go 3, 4, 5 goals up.
It's still like the game's not over till the game's not over till that final siren. Which
I'd rather be 3 goals down,
right?
Yeah.
It gives us something to get towards.
I've got a confession on the Geelong game.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah. My old man messaged me at 3/4 time.
Mm.
Do you think we could lose it from here?
Oh,
yeah, mate. Yeah,
Dad,
mate.
Yeah,
Dad,
I do.
We would have to stop to a dead walk to lose this, and we did,
mate. Yeah,
I will say
the collywobbles is still a thing, mate.
They are. I hate hearing that word, and we're still going to hear it.
It haunts me, but it is a thing.
I will say exists, that Geelong game,
Mm.
on the Geelong game, same as the Brisbane game, taking our opportunities.
Yeah.
Too many good players miss shots 30 metres out directly in front.
They literally Travis cloaked it.
Yeah, too many good players. That last, it's something I noticed a lot against Brisbane too. Too many players, that last link into forward 50, we either just bomb it or just chip it in, but it never hits a target. It just goes.
What about the West Coast game?
Exactly. Yeah. West Coast was the same, exactly. Mate, we miss easy goals and we burn ourselves. I mean, we should have been 3/4 time, 12 goals up.
Yeah.
Comfortably.
Put the game to bed. We're a young side. We are going to have quarters that are off. We're rebuilding, and I think if we set that as fans, it's going to happen. But when you're that far up and haven't looked like missing a beat all night, to just flick of a switch go from world beaters to
Victoria Police looking for you because you went missing.
Like where have you gone? It's just one of them really. What happened?
Right, straight up.
Yeah.
Are we that young though? Are we that young? This is the thing. This is something that sort of bugs me a little bit. I don't think we're that young.
I don't think so much young as in age. I think young as in games experience. And I feel
games together.
Yeah,
games together.
Exactly.
I don't think we played enough together
in the new game style and stuff like that. And I feel as well. We're in a bit of a situation. Our backline's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few things we could
but
clean
they're
up
experienced.
And they're very experienced. And that's where a lot of and that's where a lot of that misconception that we're an experienced side comes from, is from that back line, and then you add in Pendles, Taylor Adams, guys like that in the midfield, and
with a bit of experience.
Yeah, and we're an experienced side. But then it's the forward line. You know, Checkers himself, 70-odd games.
The forward line's
as I always say, you're still learning the AFL up until 100 games.
Yeah.
We don't have many guys. I mean, Billy's experienced, but he's in and out with injury a lot throughout his career.
Yeah.
He's a small forward. It's going to be feast or famine. It's going to have days where he's going to come out and kick 6, and he's going to have days where he comes out and can't get near it.
Yeah.
It's not his fault. It's just the way the game is played this day and age.
Yeah.
Young fellas, Ginnivan, McCreary, Callum Brown when he comes in. I feel we're still trying to get that set up of a forward line. We've got the idea of how we want it to run, but the key part of that, and especially for us at the moment, the key part of that is personnel. Who do we have available? So, for instance, last week we had Cox and Cameron in there, and I'd said to someone, there's no way they'll play in the same side with Grundy. But then Checkers went out injured, and Henry, I saw Henry was omitted. I've heard some people say that he had a heart problem, complication. I haven't seen it on any news outlet that was the case. If he was dropped, it's a really weird decision because he was equal second, third goal kicker, and we'll miss him 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, he was. I know.
Glimpses. He showed glimpses where he does something. He doesn't take the game game apart. Yeah. He showed little signs where he'd do something, and you're like, well, that's quite special. Like, he does have something.
There he goes.
He's got a bit of X factor there, I think.
he's a clever footballer. He knows how to get open, which as a forward is a very good trait to have, which a lot of our forwards at times don't quite seem to have. I think one of the things that sort of didn't help him a bit was against Geelong, against West Coast, dropped 2 sitter marks, missed an easy goal. One of them things as a young player, you can use that as an excuse to go back and have a run in the twos and just have a rest. And it might have just been a case of maybe we put him in maybe we thought, all Collins supporters, if hand on heart, honest, I don't think many of us really thought we'd beat Brisbane, especially up at the Gabba.
Yeah.
Hand on our hearts, we don't think we've really got the horsepower to beat them. Maybe get him back to the VFL, get his confidence up a little bit.
I definitely expected us to give it to him, which we did, given the scoreline. But
yeah.
Definitely be competitive.
Yes,
exactly.
absolutely.
And that's the one thing we've been all year is competitive.
Yes.
And I know we were always competitive under Buckley, but we're always
a bit more so this year.
Very boring. We're competitive with attacking.
We're competitive, but we're predictable.
We seem to be. Last year we were competitive, but we were never playing a game to win a game.
Yes,
we're playing a game not to lose it.
We were playing a game to just literally finish the final siren.
Exactly, yeah. Whereas this year we're playing games to win games.
Yeah.
And okay, we're going to give up goals, and we've given up some easy goals. That attacking game plan, that's how it's going to work. It's a double-edged sword. You can go hyper defensive and not kick goals, or you can go hyper attacking and have easy goals kicked on you.
Yeah. Jamesy, go ahead with what you were going to say.
Yeah, there's just some exciting patches that we play, which is what you want to see. Some really good sort of slingshot football off half back where they're taking the game on, taking that sort of risky kick or the run it through with a handball. It's been good to see where, like you're saying, Hutto, they're playing to win as opposed to not trying to lose at a game, which is
and that's all you can. That's all you can really ask.
Even though we're 2 and 3, there's been some real good passages,
complete performances and passages of play.
There could be something special brewing. I think if we can get these young guys to come through, obviously we've picked up pretty much 2 A-graders in Lipinski and Nick Dacos to add to our midfield, and if we can get the rest of the bottom end to sort of pick up a little bit to support the senior players, then I don't think we're too far off, to be honest. It's just I think it comes down to our forward line. If they can clunk it and put score on the board, then there's some promising signs.
Yeah, absolutely. So that I think that more or less wraps up or sums up the first few rounds for Collingwood. We don't really need to go too much more in depth with that. I think it's time for the Anzac Special, because obviously the upcoming round is the Anzac Day game, the traditional one. Collingwood, Essendon, obviously other clubs have adopted an Anzac Day game as well, but it will always be, fans, you can be as elitist as you want. Anyone who's not a Collingwood or Essendon fan listening to this, I really don't. I don't care if you think it is or not, but it is a traditional Collingwood versus Essendon game. So we'll get that preview after we're done with the Anzac Day Special. Just going to quickly pause.
This meeting is being recorded.
There we go. Rightio. So our Anzac Special, we actually have both of my co-hosts are ex-servicemen or ex-military, and because it's Anzac Day, I felt it would apropos to do somewhat of a special thing, regardless of even if they weren't ex-service or ex-military, I would still do something special. So I thought we'd start off with Hutto, and we'd ask some questions, regarding the Collingwood and Essendon game, being a veteran and whatnot, and also a little bit about his time in the service to give us a bit about his story. So first of all, thank you, Hutto, for agreeing to do this. And our first question is, how long were you in the military?
So I was in the military for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a quick second. I joined in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
I'm old now. I forget years.
And so that would mean that you finished around 2018, 2017-ish?
Correct, yes. Yeah.
Okay. And which branch of the military were you a part of?
So I was in artillery. I was a gunner. Started the old school style of starting artillery. So as a gun number, made my way through, became a signaller, and then what was then called an Ops EP and is now called an AXO, and probably now called something else.
Yep.
But essentially worked in the command post as a signaller using computers.
Yep.
Doing
Coordinates
some
and
pretty
all that
fun
sort
stuff.
of.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And what obviously I was just about to ask this question, but you just answered it. But it was, what was your role in the military, which you just discussed? Did you serve overseas, whether it was in conflict or not?
So I was lucky very early in my career to go overseas 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
I went to New Caledonia on a trip with the French.
Mm-hmm.
As I was saying to you guys earlier, that's when we went on the Tobruk and had some good fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was on the Tobruk for its 65th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Sign of how old the ship was even back then.
Yep.
And after that, was lucky enough to go to East Timor twice on deployment, roughly about 11 months all up over both deployments.
Okay, well, no, go ahead.
Had some really good experiences over there. Being a country boy who grew up in the middle of nowhere in Victoria, first time overseas was a very big eye-opener, and just amazing to see that you might be out of your own country, but all people are pretty much still the same.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And now let's get to the nitty-gritty, the Collingwood Essendon games. As an avid Collingwood fan, and obviously an ex-military personnel, and so therefore a veteran, what does Anzac Day as a whole mean to you?
So Anzac Day is really, for me, is really special. I served in a few different places, Townsville, Puckapunyal, and then finished my career in Brisbane. Townsville and Puckapunyal, as far as location go, I mean, Puckapunyal is very, very small. Townsville, when you compare it to Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney,
tiny,
Perth, is tiny. Anzac Day is amazing when you get to experience it in really big cities. I was lucky enough once in my career to do the march in Sydney.
Oh, wow.
And see so many people lining the streets and just cheering and waving flags. And it kind of like, sort of shivers up your spine and was like, wow, I didn't realise there was this much people who actually got involved with Anzac Day.
With it.
Now, as far as in Melbourne and Anzac Day, as I spoke to you a couple of days ago, I was really lucky. I went to the second Anzac Day game we played. We knocked off Essendon that round, so it made it even better. And Anzac Day became a bit of a tradition for my family. I had a granddad who served in the British forces in Al Alamein, and a great granddad who served in the Somme in World War One. So Anzac Day always was a bit of a day. Although my grandfather and great grandfather weren't Anzacs, they'd worked with Australian soldiers. They sort of understood it a lot more than some other. They're
still ex-military and ex-service and have fought in war to preserve our freedoms. Exactly.
So it was always a big day for us. My dad always, without being a serving member himself, always impressed to us when we were kids how important it was. Would take us to dawn service, and this was even before Collingwood started playing Anzac Day games. Would take us to the dawn service at the Druin RSL. Shout out to anyone from Druin. I did live there once a long time ago. So it was always something that was big in my family.
Yeah,
I was lucky enough a couple of years ago, 2018, actually. I remember sitting in the stand saying to my brother, this feels like 2010 all over again. Yep. I think we're going to go places this year.
And I was lucky enough to go. We just went the wrong part of it.
Just not quite to the top.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to go to that game with my brother and my niece who played in the Little League game.
Oh, wow.
Got free tickets. So,
yeah.
And it was an amazing experience. As a serviceman, I can't say how amazing it is to stand in front of 90,000 people and hear nothing.
You can hear a fly.
Cataflark. You can hear the rope on the cataflark flap.
Yeah.
As it's hitting the breeze, you can hear it. It's amazing, and they don't even need the stump mics to pick that up. It is so quiet there.
Yeah, wow.
It literally, I know people say this a lot, but it literally makes the hairs on your arms and the back of your neck stand up, and you're just in absolute awe. And then the moment the last post-minute silence finishes, that rumble you hear coming from the crowd as everyone, that building anticipation is just...
It's like grand final day. Almost.
I was in artillery. I mean, I know what big, loud, rumbling noises sound like, and even that still to this day is something that when I hear it is just like, I can't believe it gets so loud.
Yeah, wow. And when you see Collingwood take on Essendon every year on Anzac Day, what thoughts go through your mind when you see our beloved Magpies do battle against the Bombers?
It's a bit of an odd one. Sometimes you can. It depends how you start the day. Sometimes you can be a bit melancholy and a bit sort of, and then the Pies start winning and you're high as a kite.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can come into it happy and the Pies start losing and Anzac Day's ruined for everyone.
Yeah.
A couple of guys I served with were Collingwood fans and a couple of guys I served with were Bombers fans. So we'd always try and watch the game together.
Yep.
The Bombers, luckily enough for me, most of my career we were pretty good on Anzac Day. So we got to send the Bombers fans off with a bit of a walk of shame.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it is. I've never liked Essendon.
No, that's fair.
I'm a typical Collingwood supporter. I don't like anyone.
Yeah.
But Essendon's always been one of them.
Okay.
There's some sides that when you beat them, you feel amazing. And when you lose,
and when Collingwood beat them on Anzac Day, it makes it even better. More than just when we play them later in the year. It's Anzac Day.
Exactly. I mean, for myself, I'm in my suit. I've got my medals on. I'm sort of a bit of a center of attention because people are like, oh, this guy's, got his gear on and stuff. And then you got your Collingwood scarf on top of it. Because you've always got to let people know, I was an ex-serviceman, but I'm a rabid Collingwood supporter first.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And last question is, do you have any specific Anzac Day rituals or routines before kickoff or first bounce?
Yeah, obviously the big one for me is dawn service. I have children of my own now, so dragging the kids out of bed first and foremost. They're all under the age of 12, so getting them up at dark 100 can be good fun.
Yes.
When I was in the military, the big thing was we'd go do the dawn service on base with our unit, the gunfire breakfast. One of the only times I actually drink rum is my rum in a shot of coffee. But for me, it's a day. It's a whole day, and I find I get nervous. I wish the grand final was played at 8 o'clock in the morning. I hate waiting for big games.
Yep.
So
and Anzac Day is always
Anzac Day is the good thing is you have something to distract you as opposed to a normal weekend
grand
game.
Final
You sit
day,
at home like
weekend day. Yeah.
Come on. When are we going? Let's go. I mean, we started at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Against West Coast. Just get on with it.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm missing the Fremantle and Brisbane game. Put two games on at the same time. It's okay. We're all fans of a club.
You'll get the viewers.
The game we want to watch. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly.
But no, Anzac Day is. I wouldn't say I have massive traditions. Obviously, big one. Dawn service.
Yeah.
Find an RSL or a pub where they have the game on.
Yep.
Yeah, a bit of two up. Yep. Make sure they have the game on. It always was a hard one in Townsville.
It would have been hard because it would have had the NRL Anzac Day game.
Exactly. It's got a lot better now, but early on, I was there, early 2000s, it was always a lot harder.
Yeah.
But no, for myself, if there's nowhere on, I enjoy watching the footy at home with my boys.
Yep.
We can chat about the game a bit. It's a bit quieter and stuff. I love going to the game, but near on impossible to get tickets to Anzac Day. So
you got to basically book it 3 years in advance.
Exactly. And living in Brisbane, it's flights, accommodation.
It's a whole holiday sort of thing.
It is a whole, and I'm a tradesman, so I don't get a lot of days off.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And that about wraps up our chat with Hutto with his service. So thank you for your service. And we will switch over with Jamesy or Keezy because he also serves. So I'll quickly pause.
This meeting is being recorded.
Radio. So, Anzac Special again. We've just had Hutto and his story, and so we thought.
Too stupid so far.
1 second. Hutto, can you mute your mic, please? Oh, he's got his headphones in. I'll just force mute him. That's all right. I've just muted him. So let's start that again. So, Anzac Special. We just had Hutto and his story of 15 years in service. you served in the army and all that sort of stuff. So I've got the same questions, but for James, because you also served in the military. So first of all, how long were you in the military for?
I done the basic 4 years. So yeah, but just basic recruit school, a little bit of Navy footy, and then I served on HMAS Rankin, which is a submarine, on the Collins class submarines, doing acoustic warfare.
What's acoustic warfare?
Sonar. So,
okay.
Basically, the way I describe it is basically it's those guys with the headphones on, watching the screens, listening to sounds under the water, and going from there. But it was a good experience. Yeah, absolutely enjoyed it.
That's very interesting. And so obviously that covers the which brand of the military and what was your role. As an avid Collingwood fan and obviously an ex-military personnel, what does Anzac Day as a whole mean to you?
The main one, the first thing that comes to mind would be mateship.
Yep.
Mateship and sort of side-by-side sort of mantra, which is obviously it's the Collingwood mantra, but it's really emphasised in the military as well, where you look after each other, you stay side by side, you loyal to each other, look after each other, have each other's back, all that sort of stuff. Where it's mateship's probably the number one thing that sort of comes to mind. To be honest,
yeah, that's awesome. Well, not awesome, but like it really resonates with you. Obviously, the side by side, and then obviously when you see Collingwood play with it, like play against the Bombers on Anzac Day, you can see that being emulated on the footy field of the mateship, the camaraderie, the being there for each other, getting the goals, getting the tackles, this, that, the other, which is amazing to hear that side of things, the perspective from you on that. And when you see go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Even with the Essendon and Collingwood running through the banner together, which really represents the Australian way and the military and the side by side sort of mantra that I was talking about. So although that's the Collingwood part, the side by side, but the mateship and the two teams running through the banner together, it really does represent
the unity
sort of the military. It's bigger than sort of just a game of football. So
exactly, because it really is. It's bigger than them. It's bigger than the team, the fans. It's bigger than that, which is amazing to see.
Absolutely.
And when you see Collingwood take on Essendon each year, what thoughts go through your mind / your head, etc., when you see our beloved Magpies do battle against the Bombers?
The first thing is I wish I was out in the field.
Yeah.
I wish I was
officiating.
I want to pull the jumper on, mate. I want to go out and have a kick in front of 90,000. I mean, how good's that? And just the tradition now. I mean, I still remember, Sav Rocker kicking. What did he kick? 10.
I think it was
in the first Anzac Day game, and it just I sort of grew up with the game. So. And what an atmosphere, being at the footy, being at the game. I hear Hutto mentioning you can hear a pin drop. There's 90,000 people at the G and you can hear a pin drop. It does put chills down your spine. And
have you been to an Anzac Day game?
I've been to 2. So my first one was when we were, I think it was 7 goals down just after quarter time.
Yep.
And I cracked the shits. I was like, fuck this. I'm from WA. I've travelled over to Melbourne.
Yeah.
I've been dreaming of this all my life, and then we're 7 goals down just after quarter time. We come back to win, and it was just the greatest day. It was so good. So.
And what was the second game? Did we win that one?
Yeah, we did win that one. We won that one quite comfortably, actually. That would have been 3 or 4 years ago, actually. And I doubled up with the Melbourne Storm New Zealand Warriors game after that.
And that would have been good for you as well.
I was a little bit dusty the next day. Yes. It was a good day, though.
Absolutely. And yes, definitely a good day. And speaking of, Anzac Day in particular, do you have any specific Anzac Day routine or rituals before the match, the first bounce?
Oh, definitely the dawn service. You have to go to the dawn service. Show your respect. It's a great part of the day. It's a great part of the year, to be honest. I know a lot of the old pussers, the old Navy boys, sort of they'll go to the dawn service. Then it's kind of game on pretty quickly. A few shots if you're over east, it's at the RSL, or if you're in WA, it's an early start. So it's good fun. You got to show your respect, and it's just it is a great part of the year where we can remember those that have come before us and show
those
respect.
that are currently and those that will continue to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, it's after the dawn service, it sort of gets together with mates and basically count down the minutes.
Yeah.
to the pies, really. So
honestly, that's it. That's fair. Like
that's all that's on your mind after that.
I'm more or less the same. I go to the dawn service, and then literally it's a matter of check when the Collingwood game's on, check if the Channel 7 coverage has started for the game or not.
Constantly. Constantly checking the time. Like, how far away? Are we there yet?
Absolutely. And a few drinks in between to make the time go quicker.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Try and distract yourself, because the nerves start to creep up a little bit as the sooner the closer the game gets.
Absolutely. And on behalf of myself, thank you for your service, and let's get stuck back into the episode the recording. So let's get Hutto back in here. If he's got his earphones on, pop your camera on, my guy. There we go.
Again?
Yep, sweet as. And I'll just quickly transfer
was not the way Buckley kicked it. Buckley within 60 metres, have a shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Comfortably 60.
Yeah. Oh, mate, comfortably from the back 50, if we're being honest.
Well, do you know something funny about Nathan Buckley? So a lot of people used to always say the knock on Nathan Buckley is he can't play defensively and rah. I watched a game, an old game, I think it was 96, 97.
Oh, okay, yeah. An old
and we beat
Buckley.
We beat North Melbourne, and Buckley played centre half back after the first quarter
on Carey
and shut him down.
And given the height difference, that's a fucking hard thing to do.
And I think Sav kicked 7.
Yeah. Wow, that's
was that
amazing.
Friday night footy by any chance?
No, it was a day game. But I think he'd played on Buckley a couple of times after that, did the same thing.
Yeah, did.
Those guys put those guys put Mark Richardson on him, and oh God. I know his dad played for the club, and I know his uncle played for the club.
I don't care, mate. He was a spud.
He was a spud. People complain about Darcy Cameron. At least Darcy Cameron's not scared of his own shadow.
No, I don't mind Darcy Cameron. I don't mind him. Jack Madgen I've got problems with.
I don't mind Jack Madgen. My theory with Jack Madgen is he shouldn't be playing on a key forward. To the NBL? No, he shouldn't be playing on a key forward. The other thing is he's obviously not as bad as we all think he is.
Yeah.
Because he's never dropped.
Yeah.
And he's gone through 2 coaching regimes now, so he's clearly doing whatever the coaching staff are asking him for.
Yeah.
You can't have a team of Ferraris. You've got to have a few shitbox Commodores and Falcons in there.
That'll get the job done, regardless.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. And speaking of, so now you go.
Sorry, I always refer to Madgen as a poor man's Alan Tuvey.
Yep.
And I mean, Alan Tuvey. Alan Tuvey's really big factor that helped him out was not only did he have a great fullback, a great centre half back, and Heath Shaw down there, he had Nick Maxwell, who, as far as setup wise, one of the greatest captains getting around. As far as setting the
captained us to a grand final,
getting them where they need to be. Yeah. People who weren't Collingwood fans didn't understand what he brought to the table.
Yeah.
Your captain,
it's all Australian as well.
Exactly.
People don't realise all Australian premiership captain.
Exactly. Your captain shouldn't be your best player.
No,
your captain should be the player who gets the best out of the players.
Exactly. Yep. He needs to be the one that inspires them to want to be the best
on
the field and to do better. Exactly.
Yep. Standards.
You need a leader, you need a leader in the sense of someone that can say follow my lead, but try and do it better. But
exactly.
So just someone to tell them and help them be able to do it better as well.
Just on that, who do you guys think will be the next Collingwood captain after Pendlebury?
I mean, can we not? I don't want to even think about Pendle's retiring, but it is coming. Let's be honest. I don't know. I really don't know. Like, there's a few candidates.
I'm not sure about Darcy Moore. Taylor Adams or Darcy Moore?
I love Taylor Adams.
He butchers the footy, but
he's injured too much, and God, know your limitations, dude. You cannot kick. I played footy with my brother. He couldn't kick,
could
but he
Maxwell
could
kick,
hand
though?
pass it. Yeah. He could at
Yeah,
least
he
hit a
could.
The way he
target.
goes about it, he's tough.
It's like the key example, Tony Shaw. Now, when Tony
Mm.
Shaw first came to Collingwood, can't kick, can't run, can't march. But at least Tony Shaw knew he could hit someone 15 metres away on the chest.
Yeah.
Know your limitations. Furthermore, Collingwood players, him and old Butcherfoot Braden Maynard,
Mm.
Collingwood players need to stop giving the hand pass off to them two as the last ones to kick it in the 50.
Yeah.
I've got a left field one for you here.
Yeah.
He's got longevity. He's going to be around for a long time, and he's a good player.
Yeah, I'll say I'll put
Crisp.
that more down to the forwards than.
Is it? Who'd you say?
Yeah.
Jack
very good.
Crisp.
Jack Crisp. Okay, yeah, I can see him being a captain. Yeah.
And you know, I used to always say Steele side bottom, but he's getting a bit old.
He's
now,
getting a bit old, but I could also see Hoskin Elliott, maybe.
No.
You know,
Too hot and cold. Too hot and cold in
He's
games
lucky to get a
himself.
game, I reckon.
He struggles to get the best out of himself, let alone get the best out of other people, I feel. He's ultra talented, but he goes missing too much.
Yeah, okay. I'll absolutely
another one-
stipulated to that.
Another one, I think, probably in 10 or so years' time, Isaac Quainer.
Oh, mate, Quainer
Yeah,
absolutely
that-
has that leadership about him.
Best kick in the club,
does.
and his brain power. Phew,
His class.
Some of the stuff you see him do, you're just like, yeah, he gets it. He knows
Yeah.
what he's supposed to be doing, where he's supposed to be.
Right. So before we get into our round 6 preview, Hutto's Magpies history. What have you got for us this week, Hutto?
Okay, so I've actually got a bit of a Anzac Day theme for us.
Which is very nice. I like that.
So I was going to do the easy route, Sav Rockers 9 goals to 1995.
Mm-hmm. Which is still
Buckley-
a good piece of history.
Buckley trying to hit him on the chest as opposed to nailing it from 60 out. But
Yeah.
I've gone a bit older.
Mm-hmm.
Gone World War One this year.
Okay.
This week.
This week,
This week, yep.
this episode, yep, all of it.
I'm going to talk about a couple of Collingwood players who served in World War One. So hopefully you learned something here. If you didn't learn something, you can hit me up on the
You can
comments
say I
on
knew that
something
already.
and tell me I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
I
an idiot.
apologise because I am going to be looking. I am going to be looking at my notes a little bit.
That's fine.
Okay, so the first player I have is Dan Minogue.
Mm-hmm.
Collingwood, 1911 to 1916.
Not Danny Minogue, Dan Minogue.
No relation.
Dan Minogue.
Any relation?
No relation. Not
No.
that I know
No.
Okay.
of. Okay, 1911 to 1916, 85 games, 37 goals.
Mm-hmm.
Captain of Collingwood, 1914 to 1916.
Wow.
Served in the AIF as a
Mhm.
gunner and also played in the AIF games in London in 1916,
17?
I
Oh,
think
16.
they were.
Yep.
I do actually, 1916. I do, and I will maybe get you to put that in because you're more
Yep.
computer savvy than me.
Yes.
There is a link to actual footage of that game that is
Yes.
on the AFL.
What I'll
YouTube
do
channel.
is actually in the recording, I'll put the footage into it, superimposed in between all of us so people can see some of the footage.
Perfect. Okay, so yes, Collingwood captain, 1914 to 16. Served as a gunner, so close to my heart. That's what I was. Okay. On returning to Australia, however, Dan made the fatal mistake of defecting to Richmond,
Yeah.
making him despised. No, he defected to Richmond. His reasoning was he didn't like the way that Collingwood handled the sacking of a couple of his friends while he was overseas.
Yeah, okay.
The real reason was he'd been offered the coaching job at Richmond, so he was going to be a playing coach.
Yeah.
Collingwood refused his transfer initially, so he had to sit out the first year he was back, which I believe was 1919,
Mm-hmm.
a year which the Pies went on to win the flag.
Oof.
After that, he became Richmond playing coach, leading them to premierships in 1920 and 21.
Mm-hmm.
He then coached Hawthorn, Carlton, St Kilda and Fitzroy.
Which teams didn't he coach?
Exactly. Back then, which teams didn't he coach? University.
Yeah.
Not a very well-known name, so I thought a good one to start off with.
It is.
Big piece of Collingwood history, big piece of AFL, VFL history.
Absolutely.
Okay, the next one, a lot of viewers, listeners may know this guy, Malcolm Doc Seddon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, playing career, 1911 to 1915, 1919 to 1921.
Mm-hmm.
102 games,
That was
56
massive.
goals.
That was massive back in that
big
time.
achievement.
100
Still
plus
big achievement.
games. Yeah.
Correct, yeah. Still big achievement to this day.
Absolutely.
The average playing career, I think, is 27 games.
Yeah.
So when you factor in guys who don't even play a game and then guys who play 300, that's a big gap.
Absolutely. And
Okay,
back then it was even less because they really weren't getting paid much.
Well, exactly. And not only then as
They're getting paid at all.
I don't think so.
I don't think back then, but just starting to.
Maybe they got like a win fee, like if you win, you get paid.
And especially at Collingwood, where we were very archaic and very late to come to the party when it came to paying players.
Yeah.
Losing a lot of players in the process because of it. A guy I will cover at a later date is a key example of how short a career can be.
1 second,
guys.
Okay,
this meeting is being recorded.
Okay, so Doc Seddon.
Yes, Doc Seddon. So as we're saying, 102 games, a very big achievement in a time when if you did a knee, did an ankle, that could be your career done.
Yeah.
Okay. So Doc Seddon is a guy some Collingwood supporters may know, may not know. He's a man who's credited with the Lucky Horseshoe. Mm-hmm. It's still in Collingwood's possession, and I believe you can see it if you go to Collingwood's headquarters and have a look through the trophy room. I don't know if that's open to the public. Used to be when I was a kid. Don't know.
Yeah, it was when I was a kid as well.
Yeah. Obviously, I haven't been there in a very long time, so I can't comment on that.
Yep.
So he's credited with the Lucky Horseshoe, which was made out of the copper from German artillery rounds and a German plane.
Mm-hmm.
It was made under fire in the trenches in 1917. He sent it to the club, and it became a lucky talisman, and they took it with them the whole way to winning the 1917 grand final.
Mm-hmm.
What a lot of other people may not know, the horseshoe has gained significance again for Collingwood over Anzac Day, as Eddie Maguire used to bring it to the rooms, pass it around the players to show them what sacrifice and Anzac Day meant.
Yeah.
A little bit more about Doc Seddon is he joined with his best mate, Paddy Rowan, who I will cover in a minute. And after returning from the war, he went on to play again for Collingwood, winning a premiership in 1919. He then became a serving member of the club as a committeeman and a chairman of selectors for nearly 30-odd years,
mm-hmm.
and was also mayor of Collingwood at some stage.
Oh, wow.
And unlike Billy Brownless, that was an official title, not just something he made up himself.
Yeah.
Okay, so my last player is Percy Paddy Rowan.
Mm-hmm.
1911 to 1915. I almost said 52 then. That would have been a good stint.
Yes.
82 games, 28 games, 28 goals.
Wow.
Okay. Paddy played under the name Paddy Rowe, as he didn't want his mum to know he was playing football. Paddy was also a boxer and boxed under the same name. Mm-hmm. His real name was Percy Rowan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he joined the AIF with his best mate, Malcolm Doc Seddon. However, didn't return home from the front lines. Upon Doc's return to Australia, he fulfilled a private pact he'd made with Paddy to look after his wife, Louise, and his son, who he'd never met before.
Yeah.
Doc not only did this, but became very good friends and later married Louise.
Mm-hmm.
They stayed married and had 2 of their own children. So that's just a couple of Collingwood players who served. There have been others.
Mm-hmm. But those are definitely mentioning, and we'll mention the others in next year's one as well.
Exactly. Now, for that, a lot of people who want to know a lot about Collingwood history and stuff, obviously there's Wikipedia, which is very unreliable.
Yeah.
And I assure you I didn't just copy and paste that from Wikipedia. There used to be a Collingwood webpage. I think
Isn't it Forever Collingwood?
Forever Collingwood, that's correct.
Yeah.
It's not up to date anymore. I don't think it's run for a while, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Whoever did run that, I'd love if they brought it back in.
Yeah, they did a great job of it.
Be able to start one up,
yeah,
sorry?
Start one up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, most of my reference comes from the Collingwood books, which is Glenn McFarlane and Michael Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
Highly recommend any book they've written on Collingwood. They are amazing reads, great detail, and very well done.
Yes, and we've got about 5 to 10 minutes left to record because Miss O needs me to help out with the cat because she's just come back from the vet emergency and stuff, so we've got to give her medication and all that. But that's all good. So we'll go round 6 preview, followed by our outro. So round 6 preview, key ins, key outs, and scoreline predictions, and then we'll do James's multi and finish it out there. So first of all, we'll go with Hutto for your prediction and who you think is going to win, key ins, key outs, and the scoreline, and then we'll do James's multi. So go English. Go ahead, Hutto.
Okay, so surprise, I'm going to tip Collingwood to win.
Mm-hmm.
How many? I think we're going to win by about 5 goals.
Yeah, I reckon.
I think we might jump them. Well. I think we're going to jump them early and then just hold them at bay for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
We can't kick a goal in the last quarter, so I hope so.
Well, the Bombers can't kick a goal, period, or stop a goal. So,
yeah.
So could be our week. I think ins for us this week, obviously, I'd say Checkers is back.
Yep.
I've heard rumours, McCreary. I don't know. I think he might be another week out just to get his body right. Mm-hmm. I'd say Henry, and I would say Ginnivan will probably come back in the side. Making way for them, I would say one of either Cox or Cameron.
Yep.
Definitely Cox.
Maybe both.
Surely it'll be Cox. He's got to have it. He's got to get it. The American Pie. You know?
He had a shocker. He had an absolute shocker. He has done very good things in the past, and he has an ability to not necessarily get a possession, but knock a ball on other people. But he had a shocker. I think Cameron Cox.
He's the sort of player that you wouldn't mind playing with because you know where the ball's going. Doesn't get outmarked.
Exactly, yeah.
The ball comes to his feet each time. People don't quite realise that he doesn't get a stat for it, but 90% of the time the ball comes to his feet, and it's pretty easy to play with players like that. So he does add value there, but
not only that, he can sort of
you got to look forward, hey, like not
exactly.
If we're playing to win now.
Now go ahead, James.
Yeah, if we're playing to win now, then you might give him a bit of a run, but he's 31 years old. He's not going to be in our next premiership side.
No, I don't think he will be.
Kruger's got to play.
Yeah. I would say at this stage, out Cox, Cameron, and obviously Roughhead injured.
Yeah, of course. Yes. No.
Do you reckon one of the tools might actually play because Roughhead's not playing? I think maybe Darcy can get a
I was going to float the suggestion of Darcy going forward, but I think with Roughhead out, Darcy will go back again. Essendon don't have a very potent, tall forward line, so Darcy...
They don't have a potent midfield. They don't have a potent defence. They don't have potent...
It is a danger game for us, yes. No, I think this week probably don't need to go as tall down back, and with Kruger showing really good signs against Brisbane and Checkers back in. I think that and those Ollie Henry coming in as a mid-sized forward, and another one which I failed to mention earlier, Reef Mckinnis. He's big, bigger than I thought he was, and I know he was listed as a big-bodied midfielder, but he's a metre 94, 92, and he's solid. He could be a good centre-half forward, like not a tall centre-half forward, but he could be a very good centre-half forward for the club.
I thought he showed signs last week that were
early on. He was everywhere. He looked so good, and I think that he will stay in the forward line with guys like Kruger, Checkers, and then some of the smalls.
Yes.
What's your thought on Ginnivan? He's a little bit.
I love him.
Yeah.
I know St Kilda supporters Collingwood supporters hate this, but I'm going to mention a name: Stephen Milne.
Yeah.
The tip rat.
Oh. Yeah.
Exactly the same. Under your skin.
Just niggle is what it is. He's got
more Hayden Ballantyne than Stephen Milne. More Hayden Ballantyne.
Exactly. Absolute pest though. Collingwood supporters and players love him to bits. I can assure you there is not one opposition fan who goes, geez, I like Ginnivan. But if he played for them,
they'd be saying, oh, I love it. Yeah. Exactly.
And the fact that Kane Corns doesn't like him makes him even better.
Makes it even better. Because fuck Port and they're 0-5, so you can't say shit, Kane, right now.
Yeah. And go and wear your pink jumpers if you want to have your heritage.
Yeah, exactly. Your pink, your purple, your sky blue and white stripes, whatever you want. Fuck him. And wrap it up, Jamesy, with your same game multi.
Oh, yes. So I haven't come in very prepared for this. I'm doing this on the
all good.
fly. So
That's all good, mate. That's all good.
I've only just made it home. So I've done a quick off the cuff.
Same game multi.
Where is it going?
While you do that real quick, just want to do a big disclaimer. We do not condone gambling in particular. This is just for those people who enjoy a punt. We do not accept any responsibility for any financial wins or losses to anyone who goes ahead and actually puts this multi through. This is just a bit of fun, and gamble responsibly. Go ahead, Jamesy.
Absolutely. Yeah, don't bet the house on it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, don't.
So I've gone Collingwood at the line.
Yep.
Which is the line's only 14 points. I think we'll cover the line quite comfortably.
I think so.
And I've also gone a multi that with Jordan De Goey to score a goal. He's been quite consistent with his 20, 25, maybe 30 possessions and a goal or two. He's been brilliant. The start of this season, the last half of last season, Jordan De Goey's been
on fire.
I don't think people are talking about it as much as they should. He's been on fire. We should sign him. I know that he's had his off-field issues, but his on-field, we don't have enough A-graders to have him signing elsewhere. We need him on board, and then we need the young guys to come through. So
absolutely,
I've picked him for a goal.
Yep.
Nick Dacos for 25 possessions. I mean, he's averaging 27, 28 already. First year, 5 games in. Guy's a freak. Enough said about him. I've gone, who's my other one? 20 possessions for, hang on a minute, bear with me. 20 possessions for Pat Lipinski. He's just the ball magnet. Enough said, really.
Absolutely.
And I've got one more. I think I've got Steel Sidebottom, 20 plus as well. He's had a poor season and a bit. These are the big games that get him up and about. He's a proven performer over an extended period of time. He's due. He's due for a big game. I don't know what's going on with him, but last season he was poor. This season he's been poor to his standards, obviously. I'm not sure if his role's changed or whatnot, but something's going on. But I'm backing him for 20 possessions, and if you put all that together, that gets you $8. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah, nice. Well, fingers crossed, and good luck to anyone who puts on that multi. The image of it will be on our Instagram, so you can follow it if you need be. And that about wraps up our episode 1, our pilot episode. Apologies for any stop-starts, this, that, the other, when people are listening and watching. I'll try and make it as seamless as possible. And we'll conclude this with, we'll end the episode, but I'll edit in the last post and, a minute silence sort of thing as it fades out of us.
Brilliant.
That way it's a nice little touch on Anzac Day. So I'll click stop recording now.